Warning, this content is for entertainment and educational purposes only. This video is brought to you by First Detachment Nutrition. Battle tested, expert formulated. Use discount code AB10 at checkout for 10% off. All right, folks, Big Paul here today. I am doing a back and biceps workout. This is 15 weeks out from Masters Nationals in Pittsburgh, PA. I'm going to walk you through what I do for my workout during contest prep. The goals are a little bit different during contest prep. The objective now is to lose fat, not get hurt, and to maintain muscle. If I can gain a little bit in the first part of prep, sometimes you can. But once you get past that 12-week point, it gets really, really hard as the calories get lower to maintain or even gain muscle. So really the goal is just to not lose muscle, maintain strength throughout the prep as best we can. I'm going to show you what I do on prep today. All right, first thing we got here is one arm cable pull downs. I warm up with these. I'll be honest with you, I thought these were bullshit exercise until recently. I got convinced by an exercise physiologist to give these a try, but I use these to warm up. I'm an old school heavy row kind of guy. But I feel like these are good for activating your lats and get things started off. And then I'll do the heavier stuff after these. My back last year during contests at Masters USA's, they told me that I needed to bring my back up, that was a weak point. So I've really focused on my back this off season to try to bring more density to my upper back, a little more width. I feel like I have done that in the off season. You can see my pics online for my check-in. I feel like I've added a little more width, but we'll see what happens at the end. So I'm going to start off with a one-arm cable pulley pull downs as a warm-up to sort of get my lats activated and get things going. I mean, you guys have seen these a million times on Instagram with every fitness influencer and his little brother doing them. But I got long-ass arms, so I can't get a full stretch on these. But I try to think of pulling with my elbow and get a good contraction with my lat. I'm not really worried about doing heavy weight on these. I'm just trying to feel it. Get my lats activating. For whatever reason, my right lat doesn't seem to fire like my left one does. I was in a car accident in my early 30s and I broke my neck, so I have a feeling that it has something to do with that. It's probably something neurologic, but I've really been working on trying to get my right lat to activate a little bit more. You can see it in my pics where my right lat isn't quite as big as my left lat. So there's a little bit of asymmetry between the two. But anyway, you get the point of these. I'll warm up with these, and then we'll move on to a two-handed sort of medium grip pull down. So we have medium grip pull downs to the front. Right now I'm still pretty full. You can see my coach has me on a fair amount of calories still. We don't really start pulling down until about 12 weeks out. I don't need a ton of time to get lean. I lose fat pretty quickly, sometimes too quickly. But I don't know how people are really objective about themselves without a coach. If it were up to me, I'd probably starve myself from the beginning and look like shit. That's what ends up happening. But I like to do these medium grip pull downs. I don't like anything too narrow or too wide. If you get too wide on the pull downs, your biceps get too involved. So I like a medium grip pull down to the front. I get a little bit of a lean in it, but this more of the middle of the back lats. So this is one of my favorite exercises to do. I like these mag grips. I don't use straps. I know a lot of guys use straps in the gym. The camera guys were asking me about forearm development, and I do not train my forearms directly, so I speculate that my forearm development is probably because I usually don't use straps for anything. When I used to do deadlifts, I would use straps. When I did barbell rows, I did straps, but I don't anymore. I haven't used straps. Very, very rarely do I use straps. So these are to the front. And I keep my elbows in tight. I think about pulling with my elbows. I'm sure an exercise physiologist would critique my form, but This is how I do it. Usually 10 to 12 reps. I'll pyramid up on the weight on these. All right, Ricky and Gary over here behind the camera have challenged me to do the whole stack on this. Hopefully I don't rip anything. We'll see what happens. Stack. This year I stayed a little bit leaner in the off season. I didn't get as fat as I normally do. I only had a 4-month off season, so it was pretty low key. I kept the PEDs low. I was only running 250 milligrams of test in the off season and I think 4 units of GH. But I kept my weight pretty low. I'm only like 16, 17 pounds up over my stage weight. I'm still pretty lean, so contest prep should be easier. A new exercise I added in this off season, I like to switch up and try new things. We got this new Panada T-bar row, and the Panada equipment's freaking awesome. I don't put a ton of weight on this. I really focus on getting a good contraction. So I use this for middle back. It's everything I do now for rowing is braced. I'm trying to protect my spine. I'm 50 years old. I don't want to put anything in my exercise routine that could compromise my spine. So I've dropped the T-bar rows with a barbell. I've dropped the barbell rows. I used to do a lot of barbell rows, and I've gotten more into machine-based rows, something like this with a pad. So with this, I worked with Dr. Danny LaMartina, and I'm probably going to slaughter this, but she told me to keep my back or my chest caved around the pad so I get a good stretch on my back. And so you can see the movement here. I'm pulling with my elbows, keeping my elbows out, probably at about a 45. Weight's pretty light on these, I mean moderate. So usually like about 10 reps. And I try to get a good contraction. So you sort of get the idea of how these work. We are done with the lats and upper back movements. I am going to do something for my spinal erectors now. I can't really do deadlifts anymore. My spine is all fucked up. I have some ruptured disc and stuff in my spine, so I stay away from deadlifts. I don't want to take a chance with injury. So I use this prime low back extension. Keep the weight relatively light, and I'll do somewhere between 10 to 15 reps on this. This thing is a bitch to sandwich in, but you kind of get the concept of it. And I use this for my spinal erectors. I have pretty thick spinal erectors. I did a lot of deadlifts when I was younger, so I built up quite a bit of lower back density, but this is just to keep some conditioning in my lower back. And I don't go too crazy with these, but you get the idea with these. So after back, I move on to biceps during this workout. These dumbbell curls that I use, it's a variation called pinwheel curls. These are one that I learned from Dante Trudel many years ago. And I like these because I get bicep tendon pain up in my shoulder sometime, and with these, the motion is like this, and I don't get the pain in my bicep tendon like I would with regular dumbbell curls. I keep the weight moderate, 40 to 45 pounds. I always laugh at dudes that are heaving around the 60-pound dumbbells and have arms smaller than me. If you don't have 20-inch arms, you shouldn't be using more than the 40 or 45-pound dumbbells. I'm sorry, just shouldn't. So pinwheel curls, These also will hit your forearms as well, the brachialis. But you can kind of see how these work. They're sort of like a modified hammer curl. And these are 45-pound dumbbells. I usually try to do somewhere around 12 to 15 reps with these. And you can see it's kind of a strange movement pattern, but you keep the dumbbells in tight to your body and your elbows out. And I get a really good pump from these, surprisingly. You can give these a try if you want to do something different. And if you have bicep tendonitis like I do, these are a lot easier on the bicep tendon. So you kind of get the concept of it.
All right, folks, I want to take a quick break from this episode to tell you about the new e-course that Kurt Havens and I have put together, The Scientific Principles of Anabolics and PEDs. This is the most comprehensive PED e-course ever put together, with over 80 modules, including intros to PEDs, major steroid profiles, competitor off-season cycles, non-competitor cycles, contest prep cycles, HGH fundamentals, insulin fundamentals, side effect management, safer use concepts, fat loss agents, estrogen management, and advanced PED and hypertrophy science. It is the best course out there of its kind. Go check it out. Link is in the video description below.
Up next, we have the preacher curls here. This is what is this machine? This is hammer strength. It's an old school hammer strength preacher curl. This is an awesome machine. This is like one of the old ones. The shop gym here in Ashburn, we have an awesome collection of equipment. It's probably the best collection of equipment, old and new, that I've seen in any gym, any bodybuilding gym. But I love this machine. This is my favorite curling machine. And I know some people are going to give me grief about not getting full extension on these. I have a torn UCL ligament in my right elbow, so I can't get full extension without my elbow popping out of socket. I've just never had it fixed. I ruptured that tendon and never got it fixed. For those of you who don't know what that is, it's the Tommy John. If you watch baseball, it's Tommy John surgery, but I just have never gotten it fixed. So I keep the seat a little higher on these because it keeps my bicep tendon from hurting, but you can see I can't get all the way down on these, not quite. That's about as far of an extension as I can get. And I like to keep the reps, once again, in the 12 to 15 rep range. I find that works best for biceps. Still get a good pump on these though. Kind of get the concept here. All right, my second least favorite part of the workout, abs. Cardio is my least favorite part of the workout. We're gonna do that last. Right now on contest prep, Justin has me starting off with 12 minutes of cardio post-workout, 4 days a week. And I also have a weekly step count of 40,000 steps. But this is the hammer strength ab crunch machine. I like to do weighted ab exercises. I don't know why people will do crunches with no weight and expect to have ab development. You'll see so many guys on an amateur bodybuilding stage that have zero ab development, and they spend all day doing crunches and leg raises and wondering why they have no ab development. And your abs are just like any other muscle in your body. They require mechanical tension and progressive overload if you want to grow them. So it'd be like doing push-ups for your chest and expect to have a hugely developed chest. It's just not going to happen. All right, so this, I put about 100 pounds on this, sometimes a little more, sometimes a little less. I'm really tall, I have a long torso, so I drop the seat all the way down on this. And this crunches from the top and the bottom, so I feel like you get a good contraction through your entire abdominal region. So you can see how I do these. These are my favorite ab exercise. There are other options that you can do. You can do cable crunches if you want to use the cable for tension. You can get on a decline bench and hold a plate on your chest. There's other options that you can do. I would show you my abs, but they're buried under a layer of fur right now and some body fat. Give me a few weeks, we'll have that under control. All right, finishing the workout off, as I said. This is the shittiest part of it, cardio. I fucking hate cardio. I'm not gonna lie. I would be a hypocrite if I told you that I did cardio all off season. I did zero. I'm gonna be honest with you. Other than sex, there was no cardio in the off season. That's my HIIT cardio for the off season. You know, it's bad. How I know when my cardio conditioning is going downhill is when I can't go 90 seconds in the bedroom. That's when I know it's time to start doing cardio again, when the off season's over. So here I am doing cardio. We start off with 12 minutes. I like doing the elliptical. Sometimes I'll do the stepper. I've had 5 knee operations, so my knees are all beat up. And I usually start off with the elliptical at the beginning of prep, and then towards about halfway through, I'll switch to lower intensity cardio. I'll go to the treadmill and just walk. But it's 12 minutes, 4 days a week right now. I think last year I finished off prep at doing 30 minutes of walking 5 to 6 days a week. I know that's not a lot of cardio. I mean, some of my clients I have doing 45-minute sessions twice a day. I just don't need more than that. I haven't in the past. Maybe this year will be different. But I generally get lean pretty quick. I try to do the minimum amount of cardio possible to get lean because I fucking hate it. I'd rather eat less than do more cardio, but I know cardio is important. So ladies and gentlemen, don't listen to me, do your cardio. Don't eat McDoubles like I do in the off season to do cardio. Now I'm locked in. I do cardio.
For coaching or consultations, head over to www.anabolicbodybuilding.com to book your spot today. I can help you with optimizing hormones, fat loss, muscle gain, physique, athletic performance, nutrition, and health. For more information, shoot me an email at bigp3rd@gmail.com.